Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Say, man, get on the phone and call somebody and tell them the great one is in the building. I am the 5-star general. Are they running concentration camps? Or are they running schoolhouses? Man, you wouldn't want to walk in these shoes to save your life, man. Say, let's get down to it, man. Y'all sit tight. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in to your boy. 5-star, I'm in the building. And I want to tell you, man, it's an honor and a pleasure to hang out with you and do what I do. But without you guys, I wouldn't have a show. I can honestly tell you that I would not have a show at all to be able to call my own. And I really do appreciate everything that you good people bring to the table. Every day my phone rings. Every single day my phone rings and it's something going on. And some days I can handle it. Some days I can't because it's overbearing some days. And I am one person. And I got so many different things coming. And honestly, you guys, I tore my meniscus in my knee last December. Last December, I tore my meniscus in my knee. And I have been suffering ever since. So tomorrow I go to the doctor to see if we're going to have surgery. So you guys pray for me just like I do for each and every one of y'all. But that has limited me to a certain degree. So I get a chance to answer the phone quite often when it rings lately. And if you could hear some of these stories that I hear on a daily basis, like a little boy bullying a little girl. The little girl mother tries to get the school to deal with the issue. The school ignores the mother. The mother call the school and tell them, okay, I'm going to take care of it. I'll take care of it myself. This is an elementary school. So the mom comes up the next day blowing. Principal say, well, I'm not going to let you do nothing to the child. So the mom act like she left. So the principal, instead of calling the parent, the principal decides they're going to walk the little boy across the street. Instead of calling his mom to come get him, knowing that somebody had threatened this child, they walk him across the street and turn him loose, and the woman ain't gone. And beat the hell out the elementary school kid. You would be amazed at the stories that come across my desk on a daily. You would be amazed at what comes across my desk. So tonight we're going to have a Come to Jesus meeting, a show about parental rights and how do you deal with school districts and all of this here. I need some of y'all to stop what you're doing. If you part-time listening to me right now, I need you to stop if you got kids in a school district. And I need you to sit your behind down for a second. And I need you to listen to what I'm about to say. If you got nieces, nephews, grandkids in the school system, I need you to sit down and listen to what I'm about to say. And I'm serious about that. First of all, I need you to put the same effort into your children in these school systems that you put in those clubs, that you put into those liquor bottles, or you put in those pill bottles, or the same effort you give to the weed man. But some of y'all don't even have those issues. You just don't pay attention. So I need you to put a better effort into making sure that the place where your child goes on a daily basis, which is a messed up school system, that these people are doing everything right. They're not doing everything right. And the thing is, a lot of days, your child will leave home, and some of you have already found out, and some of you will, that some days your child does not make it back home. Now, when that happens or your child gets hurt on a school campus, you can best believe that the story is going to change. You can't seem to get the truth about anything when something happens to your child on the campus. They got film and they got tape, but they can't let you see it. Oh no, you ain't gotta let me see it now, but we're gonna eventually see it because we're gonna go to a court of law. That's what we're gonna do. See, all of a sudden, when there's a problem with your child in the school system, everybody wants to follow all the policies, the rules, and the procedures. But on a daily, they don't follow none of it. But as soon as something happens to your child and it seems strange, or you know that school system is in the wrong, all of a sudden they want to follow all the policies and procedures. What would allow a principal to walk an elementary school kid across the street, knowing that he could be in imminent danger, but at the same time, never call his parents to come pick him up? And then say, well, it didn't happen on my campus. A lot of these people do not need to be in schools dealing with children at all. They have no business being in schools. You don't have any protection. No, the only something that you have that's realistically fighting for children in a manner that you've never seen to make sure that our kids are good is me. You got everybody and their mama out there say they advocates. Everybody and their mama say they're an advocate, an education advocate, but can't get nothing done. So tonight, you're going to learn a few things. You're going to learn a few things tonight, and you need to wake up and clearly get that, like Kenitra Walker say, the school is going to cover that every single time. Every single time. They're going to cover their behinds every single time. Janicia Chapman was a kid that was from South Union. I know her mom. And Janicia would get on a bus every morning because the school in our neighborhood could not offer that lady the type of education she wanted for her child. And Janicia, along with 3 other kids, got on the bus that morning. The bus jumped on 610. They headed towards Fair High School. And the bus gets to Telephone Road and 610 on an overpass and makes a right. The bus flies off the overpass, come off the overpass and flew down and crashed down. Bus driver survives. All 4 kids end up dead. All 4 kids end up dead. And the Houston Independent School District said that those children contributed to their own deaths. So even with children dying, these people still tried to cover it up. They still tried. Parents, one, you need to be more active in the school system. You need to be more active in the everyday operation of your child's school, whether it's through the PTO, booster clubs, or whatever. You need to be more active. You need to find out what is going on. You see what I'm saying? You need to be more active. Secondly, if there is a problem with your child, one, your child is not to write any statements. They don't write any statements. At that point, you need to call my mom. You need to call my dad. Don't give a statement. Don't write a statement. Don't say nothing. I don't care what the issue is. Call your parent. Well, if you don't give me a statement, we're gonna call CPS. We'll get to calling. If you don't give me a statement, you're gonna go to jail. Well, I'll go to jail. Your child should not make any statement, because they'll take that statement and try to use it against them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I was just on the phone with a mom. Son plays football at a local high school, runs track. And he was standing by the pool because it was the athletic period and he didn't want to stay in the weight room by himself. He had nobody to spot him. And some kid, horse playing, pushed this child in the pool, but didn't have a clue that that kid could not swim. She say he tried to dog pedal, his arms got tired, and his arms gave out on him. That's when the coaches jumped in and they went to save him, and he almost died. So if she's on the phone with me, somebody's trying to cover their again. They say they have video. Okay, so they wouldn't show her the video. They wouldn't talk to her. Well, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna talk to me. So when there's an issue, the first thing we do is we start calling the school. We start emailing. No, what you need to do, depending on the issue, the first thing is it's okay to send emails. It's okay to make phone calls. But unless you create a paper trail, schools are not obligated by state law to do anything. And if you're not recording, I recommend that anytime you have to speak to a school, that you record the conversation. They'll ask you, are you recording? Tell them no, and be recording the whole time. We're in a third-party consent state. And as long as you know you're recording, that's the only thing that needs to be known. It doesn't matter what they tell you. You record everything. Everything. When there's an issue, record everything. Now, so now you're trying to address it. Now you're going to say, man, I might need a lawyer. You want the good news or the bad news first? If you're looking for an attorney, 9 times out of 10, they're either not going to call you back or they're going to tell you they cannot help you. In all actuality, they can help you. But the problem is they're already on retainer fees. They're already, on retainer fees for the school district. So they work for the school district. So it would be a conflict of interest for them to represent you and represent the school district. So they're going to make tons of money off the school district, but not off you. So they won't return your calls, or they'll tell you they can't take the assignment. So now you have to ask yourself, well, who can help me? You can get an advocate. That's me. You can get a parent advocate. It does not have to be me. But I don't think you're gonna beat my prices. I don't think you're gonna beat the effort. That's not gonna happen. And you need somebody who is versed in education law, no matter if it's an attorney or not. Now, here's the thing about attorneys: when y'all go getting your friends who are lawyer, and my sister boyfriend a lawyer, he do real estate law. He don't do education law. Well, my auntie, second cousin, baby mama, she a lawyer. Well, she do entertainment law. She doesn't do education law. You got to know those educational codes if you are an attorney. So watch these attorneys who will take your money and then all of a sudden they come up missing. They can't represent you the right way because they were not versed in education law. They were not versed in education law. Now, you make that decision at that point. If you can get an attorney or if you can get an advocate. If you're lucky enough to get an attorney, you're going to pay the retainer fee. Most retainer fees are $2,500 a pop. They'll start you off at $2,500. Now, if you know how a retainer fee works, you know that money's eaten up really fast. And if the lawyer is charging $350 an hour, you don't have but a couple of days on $2,500. So now you got to find an advocate. The average advocate makes $25 to $75 per hour. That's what they make. But, you know, me being an advocate is totally different. Those that have spoken to me, you know what it is. But now you got your representation. So what should you do? They'll tell you, well, we're in the middle of an investigation. Okay, cool. That means you can't file documentation or grievances until the investigation is completed. Now, the investigation may not come out your way. That doesn't matter because as long as it's completed, then you can file a grievance. If you file a grievance while there's an investigation, they will mute your grievance. They will silence your grievance until the investigation is over. So you have to do the things that need to be done. You know, next you're going to have to be patient. When you're trying to solve certain issues, it doesn't happen overnight. And you people out there with them out of control kids at the end of the school year, can you tell them to sit down and be quiet? Because if you get caught up in something, I'm being honest with you, at this time of year, they taking your prom, they taking your graduation. So parents, you're going to have to communicate with your children, not just act right during this time, but act right the whole school year. But don't call me thinking I can turn water into wine because your kid done got caught up in something. Now, sometimes I can. Most times I can't. 98% of the times I can. But sometimes I can't. So, you know, and please don't call me if you know your child is guilty of the offense. Because I'm not representing them. I only represent children that I feel have been wronged. You feel what I'm saying? I had a long talk today with a teacher. Teachers, you are running around here paying these teacher unions $600 a year. And I know HFT don't like me and I don't like them. And they'll tell people, don't get Gary Monroe. He don't know what he's doing. You a lie. I do know what I'm doing. But see, you want that $600 a year out them teachers. And you teachers need to do the mathematics on it. You got about 3 different things that you're going to do during the course of your teaching career that may look bad on your record before they terminate you. So why are you paying somebody just to be a part of them? Especially unions that don't do anything for you, that leave you hanging. Don't answer the phone when you need them. Lie to you. Why don't you save your money and call me when you need me? Just call me when you need me. That's what you teachers need to do. But back to where we at. So now you got your advocate. The investigation is over. Now you file your grievance. You have to be very, very detailed in your grievance. You have to be very, very detailed in what you want to happen in the situation that you're dealing with, what relief you want, what you want to happen. If somebody wronged your child, do you want them fired? Do you want them reprimanded? If it's a child, do you want to see if the district attorney will pick up charges? And I'm going to tell you folks something. A lot of y'all want these people to pick up these charges. They're not picking up charges on kids. They could care less. And that's why a lot of this is out of control nowadays. So, my thing to you guys is you have to become versed in the school aspect of it. So it takes me back to the initial question. Are we running concentration camps or are we running schools? Some of you grown folk in these schools should be locked up and the key should be thrown away. I'm just being straight up with you. Some of y'all ain't got no business running schools. Some of y'all ain't got no business being in the classrooms because honestly, you're hot garbage. You're trash. I'm just telling you the truth. Some of y'all ain't got no business in a classroom, but you want the money. So you go up in there and you mistreat these people, kids, or you allow things to happen in the classroom settings that should not happen. And then everything, the kid is saying is a lie. Another thing, parents, I want you to start listening to your children, especially your elementary school and middle school kids. More importantly, elementary. Every time your baby say something, they ain't lying. They ain't exaggerating. They're telling you exactly what happened. And them grown folk at them schools will lie on your child, man. They will lie on your children. So you have to ask yourself, are you active enough in the school system to be able to navigate it when something goes wrong? There are things that we need changed in the school systems. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we need it changed in the school system. There needs to be new legislation in regards to these grown folks sleeping with these children. There needs to be tougher legislation. And honestly, they say, well, we already got it in law. Well, you're not doing anything. Like the other day, I see a school teacher of 10 years and convicted of sexual assault of a baby at an elementary school and gets 10 years probation. But yet they love your children. They care about your kid. There's nothing more important than the safety of a child. That's the same generic message all these school districts got. Maybe that's one they shot down from the Texas Association of School Boards and told them this is your template. Just put your district's name on the top of it. But nothing should be more important. So we need to all start screaming in board meetings that every single school district around us, every district around you, every district that touches your school district, need to do a better job at vetting these people. You are hiring murderers, alcoholics, you're hiring pedophiles, you're hiring all types of people to work with our children on a daily basis. And then when something happens, oh, we didn't know. You better act like you know. We have to put pressure on them to come up with a better system to vet these people. And when somebody does something, sexually related issues to children, honestly, that person should not be allowed to resign. They should be terminated. I don't care if you got 1 year left before you retire and it's going to mess up your pension. Your pension just going to be messed up. We have to change the system in order to protect our children. We have to. You have to become more vocal as a parent. We have to change our system. I asked the question, are our kids important to us? If they are important to us, we have to do a better job. We have to do a better job. I mean, it's just like horror stories come across my phone. And these parents are mortified when they finally get the news. Kenitra says that the schools will protect the offenders instead of the victims. They do. That's why it's important for you to believe your child when they come home and they tell you somebody touched them the wrong way. Somebody tried to kiss them in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? When they tell you they're being bullied, don't sleep on that, man. Get off your behind and go to that school and get down to the bottom of it. And don't leave until you get an answer. Oh, well, the principal's not available. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, the principal's not available until 10:30. Well, I'm gonna sit here. Oh, well, he won't be back until after lunch. Well, I'm gonna sit here. He's not available until at least 2:45. I'm gonna sit here. You don't leave until you get the answers that suffice. You want the answers. And if you leave before you get the answers, you're failing your child. How many kids have been failed just because their parents were lazy? How many of you? Now, a whole bunch of y'all gonna say, no, that's not me. Well, somebody doing it. Somebody failing them. Who is it? Somebody's failing these kids. There's a lot of things that start at home. And not failing your kids starts at home too. Not failing your child starts at home. But some of you guys, you just have babies to get more income. Then once you have a baby and they 4 years old, you ship them off to school because that's now your babysitter. And if you're lucky enough and you get, public assistance, you can get your 24-hour daycare. Once you get that, you set. And then you start failing your child across the board. Kanisha Walker says, I didn't listen to my daughter in elementary school about a teacher until she bent my baby's fingers back and had her in a splint for 2 weeks. I didn't stop until she was fired and I filed charges. And she says, I felt as if I failed my child. At least she's honest. How many of y'all done fail your kids in these schools? See, because there's far more going on than somebody learning their ABCs. It's some freaky shit going on in them elementary schools, man. It ain't them babies' fault. That's them grown people. They manipulate those children. They use and abuse those children. And the school district comes out with the same old generic statement. Safety is of the utmost importance. Well, if it was, a lot of stuff that's happening wouldn't happen. It wouldn't continue to happen. You feel me? It really would not happen at all. So, my thing is, these kids are living in hell on these school campuses. They're living in pure hell, some of them, on these campuses. So when you think about it, do we owe them more as parents and guardians? Yes, we do. As a mom, how would you feel if your child left to go to school and they never came back? How would you feel if your child left to go to school and they called you and told you your child was dead, how would you feel? Would you be empty? How would you feel? So tonight, God is telling me to talk to you because the schools used to be like the Garden of Eden. Miss Creole Davis, inbox me your number on YouTube. How would you feel if your child never made it back home? Some of you are so blessed your child has never been in one of those school shootings or any of that. But what would you feel like if your child did not make it home? The first thing you are going to say, what could I have done differently? What more could I have done to ensure the safety of my child? You now have the luxury of being able to fix the problem before it becomes a problem. I look a little drained. I am. Man, I hear horror stories on a daily. Horror stories on a daily. And some of you people shouldn't be running school districts. Like today, Miss Anitra Sherman goes over to Wharton ISD to file some grievances, and the superintendent is there after hiding his stinking for almost 2 weeks. This is all she asked for. Let me show you how ignorant some of these people are. All she asked for was, can you stamp the grievances and make me copies of them? Oh, I'm not doing that. We don't do it for anybody else. We ain't gonna do it for her. Well, honestly, that's what you're supposed to do according to Texas Education Agency guidelines. You're supposed to date stamp the document. Y'all tell me. I'm trying to understand it. Miss Creole Davis say, what you know about the detention center in Saint Martinville, Louisiana, and the treatment of youth there? I don't know. Educate me. Or send me where I can dig off into it. It's crazy. Well, y'all, I'm not gonna stay long tonight. I'm tired. I want to take me a nap, and I want to get up and do some homework. I'm enjoying these three new classes, and y'all forgive me, man, because when I hear certain stories, it drains my spirit. Because I got to get up and do this every day, and no matter how many times I do it, I think of the same thing when it comes to school districts. How stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? If something happens to somebody's child on a school campus, at least, the very least you can do is tell them the truth. But you got to watch them because they'll cook it up. They'll cook the scheme up on you. They will cook the scheme up on you. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me check something. Mm. So Errol, send it to my box, Gary Wayne Monroe. Gary Wayne Monroe. You guys, I want you to enjoy yourself, but I want you to become more attentive as it pertains to your children in these schools. Before you send your child to that building, and they don't make it back home, because I promise you, you ain't gonna never get the truth. I promise you. I've seen it too many times. You ain't gonna never get the truth out these people. And then everybody's story is gonna change. Everybody gonna start lying. And your child might be hurt, injured, possibly even dead. And you will never know the truth. Say it's a reason I'm the best in the business. Every night, 7 o'clock, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Get on the phone and call somebody and tell them the great one is on. I am the 5-star general. Long day ahead of me tomorrow. You guys enjoy yourself. Love you to death. I'll holler at you.